Hello everybody, welcome back to another assorted Australian politics video. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be having a brief look and trying to predict the 2026 Victorian state election, so 28th of November 2026. Now, unlike the South Australian one, which I did I think last week, I have no idea what's going to happen here. Like, for the South Australian one, I don't think there's many, I won't say any, but I don't think there's many people who honestly believe that the Liberals are going to win, because Peter Malinauskas looks to be pretty much untouchable. I have no idea what's going to happen here, because if we look at the opinion polling, it was very Labor, and then it was Liberal, and now it's Labor again. But when you look at preferred Premier, it's Liberal and very dissatisfied with Jacinta Allen. So I have no idea what's going on here. I'm not Victorian. I have not been to Victoria in many years, so I have no idea what on earth is going to happen. And that's why I've got this map, and I'm going to do this the way I did the South Australian election, because I don't know any of these seats. I would probably know about 5 of these seats just looking at this map. So I'm going to go to the tools section just up here. That's got all the seats here, and I'm just going to be going through the pendulum and, picking like which seat goes which. One thing I will do though, same thing I did with the federal one, is I'll remove the Nationals and just have Liberals as combined coalition, just to make life a little bit easier. Alright, so starting off we've got Albert Park. Okay, so that's reasonably central Melbourne. 11.2 margin, that'll probably go under 10, but I can't see it swinging very much. Probably get down to about maybe 8-7 if Labor has a very bad night. Ashwood. Okay, that's a fairly safe seat. This part of Melbourne, I'll get out my little stylus. So I think it's really going to be like this part of Melbourne that's going to swing hard, or like up here, like just this area. It's going to be really going to swing hard towards the Liberals, possibly like this sort of area, but I don't predict much. I think there will still definitely be Liberal swings around here, but definitely not much, and then I think it will be fairly status quo, with a little bit of a Liberal swing around Melbourne CBD. Ashwood, 6.2, I think that'll probably get down to about 2-3 maybes. Bass, I was having a look at this before, and yeah, 0.2%, that is not, I don't think Labor are going to be very liked around here. That's gone. That is gone. That will probably be about 4%, or doesn't really matter, but Labor are going to lose that. Bayswater, that is a marginal Labor seat. I think that will probably flip. I think it'll be very close, possibly under 1%, but probably about 1% maybe. Bellarine, that is 8.5%. I think Labor will hold that probably about 4% maybe. Just to be clear, I'm pulling these numbers completely, just randomly almost. So do not believe anything I say. Benambra, okay, Bill Tilley, he's retiring, I'm pretty sure. I did say so down here somewhere. Retiring MPs, yeah, Bill Tilley. So he won't be there. I don't know if he really has a personal vote. Now we've got an independent to contend with. Now I'm just going to say, for the purposes of this, to make life easier, that independent's not going to run again. I don't know who the independent is, what their intentions are, but I'm going to put that as a safe Liberal seat. Bendigo East, this is Premier Jacinta Allen's seat. It's 10.8. I don't think Labor are going to be super popular out of Melbourne, like outside of Melbourne, and I think being leader isn't going to help her. I think she's probably going to get a fair swing against her, but 10.8, you wouldn't think that unless it was a shockingly bad night for Labour that they would lose that seat. I think it'll probably get down to about maybe 5%. But Labour still hold their Bendigo West, so Bendigo's 2 seats. Bendigo West down here, 14.6. I'll probably be about 9, 8 maybe. Bentley. Okay, that's 8%. That'll probably get down to about maybe 5, 4. Berwick, that's what's his name, the Liberal leader Brad Batten's seat. With him, I get the feeling that this is the kind of area that unless it was a massive landslide, that's not going to, Labour aren't winning there. And with the circumstances that Labour find themselves in, and given that Brad Batten is opposition leader, they're not going to get anywhere near that. Probably going to get about 9% maybe. Box Hill. So I think that's where Labour have been improving, at least federally. Box Hill, probably about 3 maybe. Now Brighton, this is like teal country, or at least it was until this election. Brighton should be here somewhere. Yeah, 5.1. Don't just say that this system is wrong. I think it's 4 and up that's... Actually, I don't know. It should be 5 and up that's fairly safe. But, I don't know. 5.1 there, that'll probably get to about 9 maybe. I feel like crime's really going to... Like, even if it doesn't affect them in Brighton, it's going to be the kind of thing that's going to motivate a lot of people there to come out and vote. Broadmeadows, now this is prime swing area, if you ask me, but on a margin of 15.5, might get down to about 9 or 8 at absolute worst for Labour. Now Brunswick, I'm pretty sure, it's 13.7% to the Greens, so they will hold that. That is a safe seat. Berlin, this is Matthew Guy, former opposition leader, contested 2 elections, did not do well. 5.9%. I think this is like Kooyong federally. Could get to 10. Could get to 10%. I think it'll be borderline, probably about 9-10. Realistically, Bundoora. That is a safe Labour seat. This could swing. I think it'll probably get down to about 7 maybe. Carrum. Okay, that's 9.8. That could swing a fair bit, I think. I'll probably get down to about 5, 4 maybe if the Liberals if Labour has a bad night. Caulfield. So again, that's like Zoe Daniel, at least previously. Territory, 2.1%. I'll probably get up to about 6 maybe. Chlorine, that seat, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that. I think that could get to about 6, 5 maybe. Cranbourne, that's 9%. This could swing. This is the part. This is one of the parts of Victoria that I think is going to be very volatile, and if Jacinta Allen and Labour don't watch it, then there could be an almighty swing against them in parts of Melbourne like this, like a lot of the newer developments. 9%, so I think that'll probably get down to about 4 maybe. It'll make Labour, I think, take notice and realise that we can't really take places like that for granted. Okay, we've got another retiring member in Croydon, by the looks of it. That'll probably get to about 6, 2.56. Dandenong, I think I was looking at this and it was Labour's second safest seat, yeah, second only to Laverton. I'll probably get down to about maybe 13, but still safe Labour. Eildon, okay, that's a fairly safe Liberal seat. That'll probably get to 10, realistically. Eltham, okay, that's a Labour seat. Might swing here. Probably get down to about, I don't know, like 4 or 5. Essendon, %12.5%. Okay, so Essendon, that'll be around Maribyrnong, federally Bill Shorten's old seat. Don't really like Essendon that much, although a lot of that's just due to their football club. I do not like the Essendon Football Club very much. I am a Crows man. But anyway, that's not relevant. 12.5, that'll probably get down to about 8-7%. Maybe. Eureka, that's going to be somewhere country, I reckon. It's Labour held, it's kind of country, but I'll probably get down to about 1%, but I think Labour will probably hold it. If it's something like if the name is something like Eureka, I imagine there's a lot of mining heritage to that, and even to this day a lot of the mining towns are still voting Labour. Like, you know, you've got Whyalla in South Australia, you've got Cessnock in New South Wales. The Labour's influence around those parts is definitely slipping, as we saw with like Rockhampton and Gladstone at the Queensland state election last year, and federally in the seats like Capricornia. But I think it's still going to have a little bit of influence. Aurora, that's going safe. No, I don't think anyone's really doubting that. Evelyn. I always thought of Evelyn as an old-fashioned girl's name. Turns out it's a seat. 5.4. That'll probably get to about 8. Footscray. I saw this on the marginal. Yeah, here. It's against the Greens, and I think the Greens will probably. I think it'll probably be by about 1% or under 1%, but I think the Greens will get over the line there. Frankston, 8.7%. This could be volatile to a bit of a swing, but I don't think really that much. Probably about 3-4% for Labour. No, not Tills. Geelong. I imagine Geelong, being a city centre, would probably be fairly friendly to Labour. And yep, there it is, 14.7%. Might get there to like 10-9. Either way, Labour is still holding that. Now the Gippsland seats. If I know one thing about Gippsland, it's that they don't like Labour, and clearly not. So both of those are going to be safe Liberal seats, and I think that in future they'll probably stay that way pending some massive unforeseen event. Then Waverley, that is a marginal. Could be a bit volatile there. I think that's probably gone. Probably under 1%, but that's gone. Greenvale. Okay, that's a fairly safe seat for Labour. This is the type of Melbourne, like, federally, I want to say the seats of like Gorton, Corwell, Scullen, Laylaw, that's going to swing. Those are the areas that I think are going to swing hard against Labour, and I don't think Greenvale is going to be much of an exception. I think that will probably get down to about 2, maybe 1%. Labour, I think, could even lose it if they have a very bad night, but I don't know. Hastings. Okay, that's a marginal. That's gone. Hawthorn. I think Labour won this for the first time in 2018, but now former leader John Passato holds it. It'll be interesting to see what happens with all the leadership turmoil, like between Passato, Batten, see if Moira Deeming plays a part. I don't know, but either way, I think Hawthorn's probably going to get up to like 4 or 5%. So Liberals will retain that. I don't know. Can still if you spell it right. Okay. This will probably get down to about maybe 9. Yeah, I'd say that 9. Callow. Oh, that's Labor's third safest seat. I was not aware of that. But this is going to swing hard. That will probably get down to... That could get under 10. And I think it will probably just fall just under 10. Q. This is Labour. Oh no, it's a Liberal seat. It's Kooyong and that federally. Jess Wilson. 4%. I think I'll probably get up to about 7, 8, 9. I don't know. Kururuyat. Okay, that's a fairly safe Labour seat. That's going to swing. That'll get to probably about 8, maybe. Lara, I saw this just here. Yeah, it's a pretty safe seat for Labour. 15.9%. Might get it down to like 10, 11. But I think it's going to say probably safe. Laverton, I briefly mentioned it earlier, but it is Labour's safest seat. They ain't losing that. I think it's the type of Melbourne that I think could and probably will swing hard, but I can't see that margin going up. I think the absolute lowest, worst case scenario for Labour, that gets to 10%. So still very much a safe seat. Loan. Okay, that's a very safe national seat. Yeah, I can see why. Macedon, I'm pretty sure that's outer Melbourne. Oh no, I was thinking more like this part, but not. Either way, I think they'll probably get down to about 4%, I'd like to say. Melbourne, that's like what used to be Higgins federally. That's a Liberal seat, which I won't lie, surprised me because Higgins was marginally Labour after 2022. Either way, that's probably going to go over 10. Melbourne, that's a Green seat. I'm pretty sure Ellen Sandel, Green's leader. She will win that easily. It's going to be a safe seat. Melton. That's gone. That is gone. Like, Melton, when I think of areas that in this are going to swing hard, Melton comes to mind. Like, outer suburban, like, not great transport, very new, that's gone. That, Liberals have won that. I think probably about 2-3%, but Liberals have won Melbourne, I think. Mildura, that'd be it. Okay, there's an independent there. I'm going to do what I've done with all 3 of these independents and just assume that the independent will not recontest. And as such, that will be a very safe coalition seat. Mill Park. Where is Mill Park? Okay, that's a safe Labour seat. Could swing a fair bit. Probably get down to about 7, 6. I don't know. Mon Bulk. Personally, I prefer Mon Slim myself. Oh, I actually typed that. I can't multitask. Anyway, that'll probably get to about 3. Oh, actually no. If it's right on those outskirts, that'll probably get to like 2 or 1. I think also if Labour has a bad night, that could flip. That is, if Labour has a very bad night, that is in conversation. More Diallo. Oh, that's just right here. Okay, so that'd be like Isaacs federally, Tim Richardson 8.2%, probably get down to about 4.3. That type of spot. Mornington, that'd be a Mornington Peninsula in a logical world at least. Okay, there's another independent there, and as previously mentioned, I'm going to do what I do for all independents here and just assume the independent will not recontest. I can't imagine this will be the last video I'll make on this election. I imagine much closer I'll make a much more updated prediction once we know a lot more, like we realise how angry are Victorians. But I think Liberals will hold that probably about 7% maybe. Morwell, that's a regional. 4.4% for the Nats, that'll probably hit 10. Mulgrave now, this was Daniel Andrews' seat. Tends to help when you can type. Okay, so this is 10.8 versus Ian Cook, the independent. Now, I don't know, I feel like this is bias, I know, but I feel like it's because I don't know who these independents are, but I know who Ian Cook is, because he ran at the by-election. I have a feeling he ran in this 2022 election as well, so I know who he is, and as such I think he may run again, although I have to keep consistency. I'm going to assume he's not, and that puts it down, Labor down to about 5%. Murray Plains. Okay, we've got a retiring member here. Very safe national seat though, it will not matter. Narragain. Now there was something here, like a by-election. Yeah, supplementary election. Okay. Safe seat for the Liberals anyway though. Even with that independent there, I can't see that being in play. Narre-Warren North and Narre-Warren South. I'm going to start with the North. So both on very similar margins, but I think they're both going to swing hard, probably get down to about 3%. Maybe that goes for both of them. Can't see Narre-Warren being a particularly great area for Labor. Nepean. Okay, that's already a Liberal seat. I imagine that's around Mornington Peninsula, yeah. That'll probably get hit about 9, 10. Nidri. This is Ben Carroll, the Deputy Premier's seat. Honestly, this could go. Well, I don't know about go, but this could get marginal. The swing could be on here. It's at 6.7%. Like, in the part of Melbourne where it's like, I don't know. This could get very close, way too close for comfort if you're a Labor supporter. 6.7, I think they will probably get down to about 2 or 1. And for the Deputy Premier and quite possibly next leader, that is not what you want. Anyway, Northcote, that is very marginal against the Greens. Greens are going to win that. I think they did win before with Lydia Thorpe, but anyway. Oakley, 13.5. I think it'll probably go under 10, maybe about to 9, 8 or so, but I can't see. Oakley is the type of Melbourne where I don't think Labor are going to have much trouble. Ovens Valley. Are there a lot of bakers there? I don't know, but there's a lot of Nationals there. Don't know Melbourne very well, if you couldn't tell. Haven't been there in many years. Anyway, Pakenham, 0.4%. That part of Melbourne, that's gone. They will probably get, say, like 4.5%, 5%. Or that could be bias, because I think of Pakenham, I think of Latrobe federally, and federally in Latrobe, I'm pretty sure Jason Wood has a not insubstantial personal vote. So that could be a bit misleading. Anyway, Pascoe Vale. 2% versus Green, that's probably gone. Yeah, oh yeah, that's Wills. That is Wills federally. Point Cook, been to Point Cook. It's alright. Haven't been in many years, as I've said. I have not been to Melbourne for a while. But anyway, that'll probably get down to about 4-3 maybe. Because that's the part of Melbourne that's probably going to swing. So maybe even 2 if it's really bad. Polwar. Okay, that's already a Liberal seat. I'll probably go to about 5-6 maybe, so not safe. Anyway, Prahran. I don't know. I thought it was Prahran. I don't know. That seat, the seat from the by-election. I think this is really interesting because because the Liberals won, and I did not expect this, but at the same time, by-elections have strong swings, and Labor didn't run, so I presume preferences in the real thing are going to be very different. So as such, I think I'm going to give it back to the Greens, but it's going to be a lot more marginal, probably about, no, that's under 5, so probably about 6. Preston, I'm pretty sure this is fairly marginal too against the Greens. Yep, 2.1. Preston, that's like Cooper federally, that's gone. Richmond, I already saw this, that is a safe Green seat. It's not yet, but I think after this it will be. So 3 straight for the Greens. Oh boy. If you're a Green supporter, I think you're going to have a pretty good night here. Ringwood. Now this is where things get interesting with Will Fowles, because I'm pretty sure he's suspended from the Labor Party. I don't know if he has a personal vote or anything. Either way, 7.5. Wasn't this Jeff Kennett's seat? No, I'm thinking of Burwood. I'm getting mixed up. Will Fowles. Greenwood, I think that'll probably get to about 3% maybe. Sorry, I'm just in that Ripon, or I don't know. 3%. Regional Victoria, that's gone. Rowville. Okay, that's already a Liberal seat. I'll probably get up to about 7, 8 maybe. Sandringham. Okay, so that's like Goldstein federally again. Okay, that's just down here. I'll probably get to about 8, 9. I can't see that those parts swinging as much. I think there will definitely still be a swing there, but anyway. Shepparton, 6.8%. Again, I'm going to assume no independent there, so that's probably going to go safe for the coalition. South Barwon. This is where we face the same problem as Ringwood, because we've got a suspended member. Okay, just a bit of information. We've got a suspended member, but I'm pretty sure from memory Darren Cheeseman also represented Corangamite federally, so I imagine he's a fairly known local figure. And will he run again? I don't know. I'm going to say he doesn't. Where is South Barn? Okay. That would probably get down to about 5 for... I'm going to put it... Okay, Southwest Coast. Wasn't one of the premiers like either Balliol or Napthon? Okay, Napthon. I hope that's how you say his name. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Southwest Coast, okay. So that's the Southwest Coast. That'll go safe. St Albans. Okay, 9.6. I'll probably get down to about 5. I would say. Sunbury. This is the other area. Sunbury and Melton are the two that I think of that are going to swing. I honestly think this is gone. 6.4%. It sounds bold, but Sunbury, you know, like lower socioeconomic, outer suburban. I imagine crime's not exactly pretty there. You know, poor links and transport. I think that's gone. I don't think it will be by much, but I think that's gone. Sydenham. Oh no. Okay, that'll probably get down to like 2, 3. Tarnate. Getting very near the end here. 12.3. Probably get down to about 6. I'd say Thomastown. Is everyone there named Thomas? The member isn't, and I think that's an outrage. I'm sure Bronwyn Halfpenny's great, but you need to be a Thomas. Anyway, that's not important. I'll probably get down to about 10, probably still realistically a safe C. Warrandyte. Now there was a by-election here, wasn't there? Okay, so it was in 2023, Labor didn't contest, so 4.3%, where is that at? I'll probably get to about 8, 9, I don't know, but Labor aren't winning that. Wendouree. 11.9%. Okay, so this is like Ballarat. So probably about 8, 7. I don't know. Werribee. Been to Werribee too. Rather nice. Although I have, as I've mentioned, I haven't been in many years. Werribee. This is going to swing hard. I'm just going to use this election here because I imagine the by-election would have been very much biased, but I will use it as a bit of a guide. So it went to 0.8% of the by-election. Now that was a by-election, so the swing against the government was probably a lot more. I'd say Labor would probably hold it again on about 4. I'd say 4%. Williamstown. Town full of Williams. Who knows? 13.4, so that'll probably get to about 9, 8 or so. Then finally, Yan Yean. Alright, 4.3%. Where's that at? That's probably gone, I'd say. I think it'll be marginal, but I think that's probably gone. And so that is the final map that we've got now. So very much domination from the Liberals in like the country areas, but did you really expect anything different? And then when you get to Melbourne, you start to see some Liberal pockets open up in the former safe zones for Labor. We start to see this area, Liberals are starting to claw back a bit. See some very much reduced margins around here. And then the Greens are really starting to take over the CBD area. Oh, this is mainly just the CBD, so they're really starting to take over neighbouring suburbs. So we've already got them on Prahran, we've got them on Prahran, we've got them on Footscray, we've got them on Northcote. So yeah, it is going to be an election. So on these numbers, we've got Greens on 8, Liberals on 47, and then Labor on 43. Now that's not a majority, so someone's going to have to work with the Greens. I would guess Labor, because they're only 2 off, but we just saw what happened in Tasmania, and I'm probably going to have to make another video on that in the near future now that Josh Willie is the new Labor leader. So stay tuned for that if that gets done. Anyway, that concludes this Sorted Australian Politics video. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments or critiques or anything, please let me know, and I will see you all hopefully soon.